Welcome to the Double R Show, the podcast that features everything about North Lincoln County. The Double R Show, directed and produced by Paul Robertson and hosted by the voice of Lincoln City, Roger Robertson.
ABC like 1, 2, 3. Wasn't there a song like that, Paul?
Yeah, it's Jackson 5.
Jackson 5. But we don't have Jackson 5, but we've got A, B, and C.
Yeah, we've got an academy, we've got a bond, and we have classes. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back with all three of those on the Double R Show.
If you're looking for great early garden fresh produce, it's Kenny's IGA in the Bay Area of Lincoln City. 4 generations of Morgans caring for your every grocery need. All of your favorite beverages, a full deli, meat, produce, and of course, groceries. We're going to talk about the Lincoln City PD, that's the police department, and we have an opportunity for individuals not to become a sworn officer, but at least to get some training and an appreciation of what the police department does. Tami Williams is with us, and Tami, that program is what?
The Lincoln City Citizens Police Academy.
And people actually do learn some of the things that a police officer has to know instinctively.
Right. It covers basically anything you want to know about law enforcement, from the history to what our local policies and procedures are. You also get the opportunity to do hands-on things like traffic stops, active shooter drills. We take everybody to the firing range one day so they get to shoot the guns that our officers use, and get to do fingerprinting, you get to interact with our canines, and most importantly, you get to interact with the employees of the police department, so you get to know who we are, what we do, and why we do it.
Why is that important to an individual to want to do this?
Well, one of the most important things our agency has going for us is the partnership we have with our community, and this program basically helps to build and strengthen that partnership. I used to be a teacher years ago when I lived in Idaho, and so I know that understanding comes from being educated, which our program allows people to learn and have that hands-on experience to build the understanding and strengthen that partnership.
Now, Lincoln City PD has been doing this program for a number of years, correct?
This will be our 7th year, yes.
7th year?
Yes.
And how many can participate at a time?
We have up to 20 slots each time because that allows it to be a little more hands-on and a little more, you don't have as many people so that you can have more hands-on experience and one-to-one instruction. If people have questions, we have plenty of time for people to ask and get their questions answered.
I would venture a guess there's a lot of questions.
There are, yes, and it varies. Some people have really insightful questions. Some people just want basic information, and it just kind of depends on what the class is and what their interest is in the class.
Of all of the classes that the Lincoln City PD has done, is there something that stands out in your mind, a misconception that was thrown out the door because all of a sudden, voila, they got educated?
Probably the traffic stop scenarios are probably the most eye-opening because, you hear the media talk about a routine traffic stop, but there is no such thing as a routine traffic stop. When the officers go up to that vehicle, they don't know who's in there. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they have going on. It can be a very dangerous, precarious situation. So we teach them that there are certain procedures that the officers follow in order to guarantee their safety for themselves and for the people in the vehicle.
No, I venture a guess on a traffic stop, they don't get out of the car and go up to the car with the police officer. They're staying in the back, right?
We do scenarios where we have role players. I'm one of the role players, in fact,
all right,
which I really enjoy. But we have, so we'll set up around our building in the evening so they see what it's like with the lights and how the bright lights can really affect and change a situation. And also kind of can increase the possible danger because you can't clearly see into the vehicle when it's nighttime. But we have role players that do certain situations. The students in the class will come up and they'll go through different scenarios with us, and the officers will instruct them, critique them, and show them, this is how it could go bad. You did really well, and just to basically give them the feedback for that.
What is the biggest misconception people have had about the police department that you've overcome? Or is there the biggest one?
Well, some of them think that, going along with the traffic stops things, we do not have a quota for citations, even though they always say that.
Did you reach your numbers today?
Yeah. Our officers actually take traffic stops as an opportunity to educate. Maybe people weren't aware of the violation they committed or that they were driving unsafely or whatever. And they don't cite every single time. It just kind of depends on a case-by-case basis. But yeah, most of the traffic stops are for education.
Keep your speed down. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't use your cell phone when you're driving, holding it up, and being distracted. And wear your seatbelt. Watch out for pedestrians. That's a big one.
It really is, especially this time of year.
Yeah, and we have another pedestrian safety operation coming up the end of August, in fact. So
that'll be whereabouts?
Oh, I think it's the south end of town. I barely saw the press release. So,
very good.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody wants to enroll into the class, we do what?
They need to contact me. They can either email me. My email is twilliams@lincolncity.org. They can call our non-emergency number, 541-994-3636, and ask to speak to me. And I will figure out a way to get them a copy of an application, and then we'll go from there.
Why did you get into working on this program?
Well, like I said, I was an educator in the past.
Okay, that works.
And the person that started this program, she's not with the agency any longer. She came to me. It was her passion project. And as a former educator, I'm passionate about it too, because I really see what a difference it makes as far as the students in the class learning about the processes, the policies, and just getting to know the person behind the uniform so that they know that we're people, we have senses of humor, we have families, and, we're human.
Tami Williams is our guest, and again with Lincoln City PD, and the program gets underway when, Tami?
It's going to start September 3rd, which is a Tuesday, and it'll run every Tuesday from 6 to 9 p.m. for 13 weeks. We still have a few slots available, so people that are interested can contact me, and I will get them an application.
And again, to contact you, Tami Williams at PD, how?
Yes, you can call 541-994-3636 or email me, twilliams@lincolncity.org.
Get ready for a night of nonstop fun.
Here she comes now, saying morning, morning.
With Tommy James and the Shondells. Saturday, August 24th, Chinook Winds Casino Resort.
I think we're alone now.
A lifetime of hits. All the million sellers. All the number ones. With the legendary Tommy James and the Shondells. Reserve seats on sale now at ChinookWinds.com, Chinook Winds box office, or by phone at 1-888-MAIN-ACT. There's more at TommyJames.com. Saturday, August 24th, Chinook Winds Casino Resort. Don't miss Tommy James and the Shondells live. Chinook Winds, where concerts are better at the beach.
Oregon Coast Community College in Lincoln County is about to embark on probably the next big phase for the community college. With us is Dave Price, and you have sold bonds now, correct?
We have, and I want to thank the voters. I think I've appeared maybe 3 times on this show, Roger, asking people to vote. However, they chose to vote in our bond election, and I remember some ads from a local firm supporting the bond. But no, that bond was passed May 21st, and it was a 2-to-1 margin. Local voters enthusiastically supported the measure, and so absolutely we are moving. We've sold those bonds. We had a tremendous amount of interest. We had almost 10 times as many orders as we had bonds, which was amazing to watch. And at the end of the day, we told voters we intended to generate $33.1 million in proceeds from this bond sale, not counting the $8 million state match that we talked about as well. In fact, that number is going to be just north of $36 million. Because of the interest in the bonds, our bond counsel was able to renegotiate with bond buyers and get better terms, which wound up getting more money for the local taxpayers.
Now, this is not the norm.
I don't know. It doesn't appear to be the norm. The people watching the sale with us said that we have never seen this multiple, 9.6x number of orders. We saw live people trying to buy $10 million of our bonds. And then 34 million. We had 3 different firms, I believe, at least 2 firms that were trying to buy every bond that we issued, just because, we were AA3 rated, which is the same rating as Oregon State University. It's a better bond rating than the state of California or the state of Illinois has. And we really leveraged that. I think we hit the market at the right time.
So the additional revenue that you will now have will do what?
Well, have you seen my new couch, Roger? No, it's we are not permitted to spend those funds on anything other than what voters approved in the bond title, even if the money had been less, I suppose, than we were able to anticipate. And so it is still going to be for the construction of the Trades Education Facility. We're calling it the OCAT, the Oregon Coast Advanced Technology and Trade Center. And of course, the renovations and improvements to student furnishings and surroundings and facilities. Like we're speaking today at the Lincoln City Center. We might have a kitchen in the community room when all is said and done. We might have an FM radio station upstairs. Who knows? Again, we're turning to the community for that kind of work in the months ahead. We're also forming a bond oversight committee. And that is going to be a group of citizens like yourself, hint, hint, who will gather together a couple times a year and look at every single check we've written and aligning it with the bond title to be able to report to the public that indeed we only spent this money, whether it's $36 or $33 million, we only spent this money on what the voters said to spend it on.
And what we're spending it on primarily is a educational facility, second to none when it comes to some of the jobs that are needed.
Absolutely. We could start with marine welding. We could start with pre-apprenticeship training. There's a number of different programs that are going to be coming out of the gate. And by the way, I should tell people in full transparency that right now, as we're speaking, we're about a week away from the deadline of RFQs, that is requests for qualifications. We are trying to hire our first project manager / owner's representative. And once you have that as a public institution with a bond levy passed, things start rolling. This is the person who then advertises for RFQs for an architect, the request to find the person who's going to win the bid to clear the land. All of those things begin once you have an owner's representative, someone who does this for a living, invests public money in these projects for a living. And that's what we're after. And things are going to start moving relatively quickly. We intend to break ground on this facility in the spring of 2025.
And you would anticipate it will take how long for completion?
I don't know, Roger, 18, 24 months. It's going to be a big facility, but then again, it's also a big, wide open facility. So I really don't know what to expect. This is not my expertise. I will tell you this, we do have history to draw upon. In 2004, the voters voted to build the buildings we're in today. And this building that we're sitting in Lincoln City, opened in 2009. So that was less than 5 years. It was basically 4 years and 11 months, and they opened this building. But they started with a forest. There was no street, there was no utilities, there was no parking lot. We have a head start in many respects, building adjacent to our current facility in Newport on land that is partially cleared already. And so I don't want to be too optimistic, but I don't think we're going to be waiting 4 years. I think we're going to be in this building sooner than that.
And again, there is really a pent-up demand for the type of people you're going to be able to train in this facility, is there not?
The need for trades education is absolutely clear. And I will tell you, too, do you know that in Oregon, and certainly at Oregon Coast Community College, about a third of our students are male? It's funny. They're about half the population, but a third of our students are male. And it is one of those things that we believe that a lot of young men and young men in rural areas, and I say young, I'm talking really about all ages, have for whatever reason decided that traditional college channels aren't for them. And we're not serving them. We're not reaching out to them. We're not delivering what they need. And when they have a facility that they can come to, knowing that this is going to prepare them for that next job, that career, that development that they need, and when they come knocking on the door, we're going to be able to greet them with that training, and we'll be able to say, oh, and you're interested in an electrician position? Yeah, how's your math for that? Well, math, that's why I'm here. I don't have that math. I don't want that math. Oh, you're going to need it to be an electrician, but we can do it right next door at that building while we're working in this building on the trades. And we're going to engage these people in writing, in reading, in mathematics, and I think introduce them not only to the careers of the future, but also to the traditional skills that they've, for whatever reason, thought they couldn't accomplish, and only because they haven't tried with our help.
We at La Roca are proud of our food, but don't take our word for it. Read the reviews. One person wrote, "The service was friendly and efficient." Another writes, "La Roca has become one of our favorites because it's authentic Mexican food."
Northwest Septic Service is your one-stop shop for all your septic needs.
Northwest Septic Service offers pumping, maintenance, repair, and inspections with one call, 541-994-6977.
Buying or selling a home? Northwest Septic Service can inspect your sewer line or an entire septic system.
Old or failing septic system? Northwest Septic Service can rejuvenate most drain fields, saving you thousands of dollars. 541-994-6977.
Serving Lincoln, Tillamook, and Yamhill counties, Northwest Septic Service.
Wouldn't it be great to have all your insurance needs handled by one agency? This is Charlotte Lado with Farmers Insurance and the Insurance Store. Visit our office next to the Wildflower Grill in Lincoln City. Let us be your one stop for your personal, commercial, health, and Medicare insurance needs.
Superintendent of the Lincoln County School District, Majalise Tolan, getting ready for another year.
Yes, we are so excited for starting the school year. And I think, Roger, what is most exciting is by the summer learning funds we were able to get from the state and bring into the county and have over 400 students and staff continuing to learn. We just have a great momentum starting our new school year.
You love being around the schools. You don't want to be just the superintendent. You want to be with the kids, right?
That's exactly right. And we're really focused this year at a central structure on how we can make sure all of our kind of central office staff have that opportunity to be with students, be with teachers, be with building administrators on a regular basis, because it's really where the magic happens and it's the point in all of our work.
As we look at what is about to transpire come September, any new developments within the buildings that we should know about?
I don't know about necessarily new development in buildings. We don't have as many new staff to Lincoln County as we have had in the past. Part of that is we are in a declining enrollment situation in Lincoln County. It's really happening across the state. And so we don't have as large of classes, but we don't have as many new teachers filling places of retirement or if teachers had left our district. One of the changes that has impacted North Lincoln County is the addition of a fourth administrator up to TAF 712, really just due to the size of that building and the needs of running a 7 through 12. So we've added Nathan Green. He's been an administrator with us down in Newport for the last couple of years. He has a strong special ed background, so we're excited to bring Nathan up to the North area to better support our North area families and students.
You've run the operation with having the middle school and the high school in the same campus for some time, and that has really worked out quite well, has it not?
I think it really has worked out well, and I think one of the misconceptions and understandable concerns is what does it look like to have a senior around a seventh grader, and what would that be like in the building? And really, the seventh graders are the best eyes and ears telling us what a senior's doing. You know, they don't want to be around each other. They have their own social groups. They have their own niches. The way the staffing is able to structure up at TAF 712, they've really done a nice job in that. And so where we're able to use it as a real positive is that strong peer connection, strong peer support, but separate lunches and separate spaces and times, I think, really is also able to help staff work together. So we can separate students, but we can have staff working a real strong continuum of 712 learning up here.
Initially, at the beginning, you talked about enrollment being down. Is that district-wide?
It is district-wide. So after COVID and after the fires, we lost about 500 students across Lincoln County. Our kindergarten last year came in with a 25% decline of what we anticipated for student population. And so we're continuing to see that decline. The district last year is part of a long-term study to see if the school board wants to go out for a potential renewal bond this season. One of the things they looked at was a long-term demographic study that does show a continued decline of up to 1,000 students in 10 years in Lincoln County. So something we have to be really mindful of. We want to keep our programs, we want to keep our schools, we want to keep our staff, and so we really have to look at our budget and our decision-making process to do what's best for kids all the time and in the future.
That's really a tough call to know that you need more, but you got less to do it with.
Yeah, I think it takes a lot of good conversation. What does the community want to see in its schools? What do staff want to see in their schools? What do families and students want to see? What do we need to be providing to have them future ready? I think it's just really an ongoing, real transparent conversation of providing the highest quality education as possible in Lincoln County.
What excites you the most about the opening school bell?
Just having them back on campus. I think, especially now in my new role where I work the whole summer and just take a little bit of time off. I miss the kids. It's so great. Athletics started on Monday the 19th. And so, really they were going all summer long. We had summer learning happening on our campuses all summer. But that first day when all the staff are back, all the students are back, the families are dropping them off, that enjoyment and excitement of kicking off a new year, Roger, there's really nothing like it.
What should parents know about the upcoming school year? Is there anything in particular that is different from last year?
I don't think there's anything real different from last year. I think if people have been following national news and Oregon State news, the conversation around cell phones and what cell phones do to students during an academic day has been a very interesting one. And our policy actually says that cell phones should not be out during instructional time. And Lincoln County School District Board adopted that policy a long time ago. So I think really being mindful of that we want students engaged in learning all the time. And we're not trying to dictate what they do in their off time, but we definitely want them all hands on deck with learning when they're here.
So the cell phones are left where?
We prefer that they're completely away. So, some kids leave them in their car, some kids leave them at home, some kids leave them in their backpack, and that's great too. We don't want to be taking property from people that want to have it, and we know that parents want to have access to their students, but we just need to know that during the instructional day that students have those phones away during learning time and they're fully engaged in what's happening in the classroom.
Was there much pushback to that policy?
It's funny because the policy's been around for quite some time. And so I think the pushback has been more of the concern of how do I have access to my students? Because there's times we need to get information to our students. And so it's calling the main office and just remembering that there are avenues and how do we really openly communicate what those avenues are so parents can get a hold of their students when they need to.
And as we approach the opening of the new school year, any special needs that the community can help the schools with?
As silly as it is, paper's always a need. Paper's a great need. I think just the support, I think showing up. One of our mottos this year is going to be Lincoln County shows up. And there's lots of ways to show up. There's showing up with positive comments. There's showing up with smiles to kids when they're walking down the street. They're showing up to the plays, the band concerts, the events that they have. And so it's great when we get donations and when we get that kind of support from our community, and Lincoln County is amazing for that. But I also think there's a lot to be said for presence. And when kids can see how much you care about them and support them as a community, that's where there's real power. So,
Superintendent for the Lincoln County School District, Majalise Tolan, congratulations. We look forward to another wonderful year here in the school district.
Absolutely. Thank you so much to you too.
Bob's Beach Books in the Ocean Lake area of Lincoln City does in fact have what you'll want to read. I'm Diana Portwood, and if we happen to be out of a particular bestseller, in a day or two, we'll have it back in the store waiting for you. Bob's Beach Books, so you can join the conversation.
We may be young, but we are experienced. Hi, Adina Zeller here, and Zeller's restaurants are now a year old, but the experience in preparing and serving food goes way back generations. Zeller's Lincoln City and Rose Lodge. Come on in.
So this has been a busy week in Lincoln City. So Let's Bay Music Festival concludes this weekend. And if you don't have tickets, you better hurry because there's probably not a whole lot left for you to be able to get in and see and hear some of these marvelous concerts. We're both at the free concert at the Congregational Church on Tuesday night. Phenomenal music.
Yeah, it was really great. And Allison and I are going to the Thursday night up there at Chinook Winds. So we're looking forward to that.
And speaking of concerts, we're going to go to a concert Saturday night.
Tommy James and the
Shondells. Crystal Blue Persuasion and a whole lot more. We'll see that on the big stage up at Chinook Winds Casino Resort. Understand that one as well is about sold out if it isn't already sold out.
Yeah. Big ticket items and lots of entertainment here in Lincoln County.
Meetings upcoming here in the city of Lincoln City. We got the Planning Commission on September 3rd. That's Tuesday, September 3rd, 6 o'clock. Wednesday, September 4th is the Library Board meeting. And the first meeting for the City Council is September 9th, 6 o'clock in Chamber Quarters. You can help us help kids. Want to say special thanks to Moe's Restaurants for the Sandcastle Building Competition. That raised over $1,000 for the Backpack Food Program here in North Lincoln County. Wonderful event done up right by Moe's Restaurant.
Great event. And $1,000 for just building sandcastles and cruise ships and mermaids and
having a good time. Help our local students as well with Stuff a Bus. That's coming up August 30th, Friday, August 30th, 8 to 5 at Lincoln City Outlets. Bring bags of back-to-school supplies, papers, pencils, and the like. And, of course, clothing for kids. And if you can't come up with anything, a gift card.
Oh, grand idea. Yeah.
Yep, bring it up. Help us, help the kids. That'll be at 8 to 5 at the Lincoln City Outlets. You'll see the bus, and then inside the mall, you'll find us as well. For the veterans, we got a free soup and sandwich the second and fourth Wednesdays of each month, noon till 2. Third annual family picnic is going to be held at Wapiti Park, and this is sponsored by the Elks Lodge as well. And this is on August 25, 11 till 7. And way down the road, but not that far down the road, we're going to have hula dancers and a lot of Hawaiian music and entertainment in Lincoln City.
Angels Anonymous, the Fantasy of Trees, correct?
Yeah, it is indeed. And tickets will soon go on sale for that as well. The concluding event will be December 7th. You'll want to make certain that you get tickets for that. You'll want to plan out decorating your tree as well. And the trees will go on display December the 4th. Day that rings in infamy.
Yeah, I think that might be a birthday for someone.
It just may well be. Anything else your side of the table?
I think we're clear from here. Thanks.
That will do to the doings on a Double R show. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, so you, your family, and friends around the world and across the street can join us on the Double R show. For Paul, I am Double R. Have yourself a happy day.
You've been listening to The Double R Show. Join Roger and Paul Robertson as they explore everything about North Lincoln County. The Double R Show, produced by Always Productions and hosted by Roger Robertson. Have a story? Email contact@alwaysproductions.com or call 458-201-3039. For The Double R Show, I'm Jana Grahn.